right, Jerry Mason, Kickin lawyer. Thanks for joining us for another Law Talk podcast. As always, we want you to like, follow, subscribe to the content. We're available on all social media platforms, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to your stuff at. So please check that out. Make sure you follow us on TikTok, at least as long as TikTok is available. We have a pretty big following there. You can go over there and get not real legal advice and watch Josh do the dances. We want to thank our longtime sponsor, Michelle Allen. If you're going to buy, sell, rent, lease real estate, she'd be glad to help you. Just go to the Cry Like Realtor page and check out Michelle Allen. If you want to learn to kick people in the face, just visit masonsmartialarts.com. We have 2 locations. One's located in Covington, one in Millington. We've been doing it since '93, so long time. And then Jam Books and Records is a business we have on the square in Covington, Tennessee. Good gifts for this time of year. You can come check us out. All kinds of stuff, books, records, signed memorabilia available there. And then if you need any help with your online marketing, promotions, website design, video production, visit masonitemarketing.com. Now, joining me today is, I know this one pretty well. This would be my spouse, Madeline Mason. How are you, Madeline?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. And we've got some other guests that we're going to show you in a moment. I'm going to let Madeline introduce everybody. But Madeline is directing a Wicked Christmas that opens this weekend at the Ruffin Theater right here in Covington. So why don't you introduce everybody, Madeline, and tell us about it?
Yeah, so we came today. We brought some of the cast. We have Julia Bogard. She is very talented. She's playing a couple roles in the play. She is the Tin Woodman, and she is a character called Teen Euristia. So she's the witch that the house falls on her. She's that witch before, she has her tragic ending in The Wizard of Oz. So, and then next to Julia, we have Wesley McCraw. Wesley is actually our junior director. And Wesley's in the play. He also plays several characters. So when we started the play, he was 3 characters, and now we have him just down to, well, really 4, because it's 1 character as an adult and a teen. So now we just have him down to 3. So he's going to play a character called Prince Oogaboo, and he's also going to play a dad character called Jim Kifsoforth. And then over in the corner, we have one of the Ruffin board members. This is Dana Bogard. She helps with all kinds of things. Right now, she's trying to acquire PVC pipe for us. It has been acquired, she just said. But she does a lot of the marketing and social media posts and community outreach too with the Ruffin. So we just wanted to talk today about the play and about the process of putting the play on, and maybe talk about questions that we had before we started doing theater and doing plays at the Ruffin on things that the audience might be interested in.
Yeah, so before we get to some of the conversation on it, tell everybody when the play is, times, dates, how to get tickets, all that.
Yeah, so we open this Friday. It's going to be the 13th, 14th, 15th this weekend. The Friday, Saturday night showings are at 7:30. And then the Sunday showing is at 2 p.m. And then the next weekend, we have a Friday night and Saturday night play, and that's the 20th and 21st, I believe. Yeah, the 20th and 21st. And both of those plays are at 7:30.
And the tickets it's tiptonartscouncil.org, is that right? Mm-hmm. tiptonartscouncil.org.
You can buy the tickets online, or you can still buy them at the box.
Yeah, show up at the door.
Come to the play, yeah.
Yeah, and for those that didn't catch it, it's called A Wicked Christmas because it's a play on Wicked and Wizard of Oz and that whole world, and also on A Christmas Carol. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of a good holiday play that melds those worlds, right?
Yeah, if you like The Wizard of Oz or Wicked or Christmas Carol, you're definitely going to like this play because it's a new twist.
Cool. Mm-hmm. And so Julia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know we had a good conversation earlier about these implants and stuff you got we can talk about later. But so what made you want to get into, I know it's not your first play, but why don't you tell us why you got into the acting and what you're enjoying about that?
When I was 9, I was 9 years old. Mom was like, "Hey Julia, there's a play at the Ruffin, Frozen Junior." And I was like, okay. And so I got ensemble in that, but I was just really fell in love with it because I was because like I had never done acting prior to it, so it's just like really a new experience for me since I've done like all these types of like sports and stuff, and I just never really found my calling in them. So I mean, I guess theater was just my thing, you know, because like everyone in my family has like soccer, or like they played, my brothers played football and soccer and stuff. So like, I mean, I just found something that was like my own. So it's just something that I could like call my own.
Cool. You said you started at 9 and you're how old now?
13.
13.
Had to
Okay.
calculate that for a second.
And Wesley, how was your path to theater? Is this your first one, or have you done others?
No, I've done a lot of. I think I've done 3 others before this one, and I've only been in it for about a year now. Let's see.
Wesley is like my go-to guy because he had the whole script memorized before he walked in the building. I was trying to pull it up to see how long. It's a 91-page script, so it's like reading like a small novel. And he had memorized, not just his parts, like he memorized everybody's lines. So if I need to know like what comes next, I can just look at Wesley and he can tell me. It's really impressive.
Well, speaking of that, with you being the illustrious director, Madeline, what have been some of the pros being a director of this kind of play? And you can speak to cons or not, it's up to you, but what has been some of the highlights and maybe some of the lows that you didn't anticipate being a director?
So I'm not a real director. I don't look at myself as a real director because my experience directing has just been this one more adult play that we've put on several years in a row.
Yeah, the Rocky Horror Show.
Yeah, so this was
It's got a great cast.
This is my first like that's more of like a spectacle. This is my first play that I've put on, and we have lots of people from different backgrounds in this play. We have younger children that are ensemble. We have, children and teens that make up kind of this one type group of cast. And then we have several adults in the play. But what people don't see is all the work that goes on in coordinating all those people. So the cast list we have is very long. We have lots of community members that have participated and they don't get paid. So it's all volunteer work to put the play on. So it's not only all the members of the cast, but their parents bringing them every night. There are long practices. You have the lighting and sound production. So Gary Lewis wrote our light and our sound piece. And this is a play, not a musical. So any of the sounds or music that are there, we had to put together ourselves. It doesn't come with like a music package. We have board members that are helping run different aspects like spotlights, somebody to run sound the night. When you have little kids, you have to make sure they're dressed and their mics stay on their bodies and they're not like swinging them around their heads and breaking stuff. So
build sets.
You got to build
costumes.
And well, this play, and I'll let these guys talk about the set for a second and what they think of it. But this play is kind of neat because the set changes in the background of the play while the play is going. So there's not a lot of like dead space in the play. There's always something going on in the foreground, and then the scene changes in the background. And that's very hard to transition that. So there's parent volunteers helping do that. And it's just a mass coordinated effort. And this play, the Ruffin did something this year that they haven't done in a long time. And they put 3 plays on back to back over 3 months. So that's a huge feat. We did borrow some of the set from some of the other plays. So like each play's had a fireplace in it that's been the same fireplace, and we've just painted it different. There's stone walls in each play, and we just did them a little different. So some of the things we got to keep between plays, but other things not so much. So having that short amount of time to transition from one play to another has been all hands on deck. So Julia and Wesley, what did you think about the set and how the play came together?
I think like the set is like really creative because like we're reusing like you said, we're reusing some of the stuff, like those 3 columns that we have. We just keep on painting over them with different things, and we put like shelves on them. I think it's really creative how we're like reusing and recycling some of the stuff.
Yeah, and it looks different.
Yeah,
you
it
know,
looks-
with the lights different, and
Yeah,
this
some
makes
of-
it totally different.
Yeah, like you can just turn them around. One of them gives like spell like a cellar, like a dark, gloomy place, and then the next one just it's giving like a happy and warm environment. It's really weird but cool.
Yeah, so basically, the first time someone told me that, like the stuff was going to change behind him, I was like, well, that does seem a little weird to me. But then as I've kind of looked at it, I realized it kind of gives the audience something to kind of look at a little bit when they're changing it, because it kind of keeps them entertained the whole time, and it doesn't, like, I don't think there's ever a time in this play when you're bored at all.
And Wesley, how old are you?
14.
14. So y'all are literally like, you said 13, right?
Yeah,
13 and 14. And then Dana's, what, 15?
Yeah.
So this is a question for you. You can speak to. You may have to get a little closer to the
Oh, wait,
mic, though.
hold on. I'm actually 15. I just turned 15. So.
Congratulations. I lost a whole year one time, too. It's
Yeah.
okay.
It was in his 30s, though. It
Yeah, I
doesn't
was
count.
like 33 and forgot. Anyway, Dana, as a board member, so I think a lot of times people think that to assist the Ruffin, they either have to spend money or be on the stage acting. But could you give us sort of a rundown of other options that other ways people could support the Ruffin that they might not be thinking about?
Sure. I'm so sorry.
so fun.
Well, I chose to be a board member at the Ruffin just because she loves it, and I love her, so I want her to support something that she loves. So we're there all the time anyways. We might as well be involved. That's kind of how we ended up there. But as far as we do put money into it. Like I sent my son to buy a PVC pipe today, because we need it for something we need to make for something, and that's fine. So, but I run the social media page, so I help with making sure everything is advertised, and there's a lot to advertise right now, and there's a lot of, hey, did you put this up? Hey, did you put this up? So it does take a lot of time. It's kind of like a second job. But also like communicating with the community, and we have a crafted coffee around the corner. We've kind of made a deal with them, and they make drinks for us based upon the place that we're having, and it kind of advertises for them, and we advertise for them, and it's just doesn't cost us any money one way or the other. It just kind of helps to advertise what we're doing. So.
Yeah. Well, and then I think people don't realize that, like, you can be backstage. Stagehands are essential. Mm-hmm. I know from doing Rocky, a lot of us were on the stage a lot, and people focus on that, but you got to have somebody moving the curtain, moving the set pieces around. And then that's another thing. Even when the performances aren't going on, the Ruffin often needs help with people to design and build that are crafty, that can make this stuff. Even donating materials can be a help. Yeah. And then you have the traditional paths of support. You can become a patron. You can come see the shows, pay money. You can sponsor the events. All those kind of things are always good to help the Ruffin. I feel like, because I was on the board too for years, and I sigh as I say that, but one of the concerns I had was a lot of times in the community, people all kind of agree that community theater is a good thing. Mm-hmm. But they'll say that in one breath, and the next breath they're not going to the shows, they're not supporting them, they're not doing anything in any capacity. So if you're watching, I would challenge you to be an asset in some way, just like these young people have confidently stated. Maybe the soccer and the football route's not for you, and you need another outlet, or maybe it was. I was an athlete, I guess is a way to say it, but. I realize the value, especially for some of my children, even value that I've gotten personally from being in these plays and supporting the Ruffin and being a part of it. So I just challenge everybody in the community to be a little more supportive of all the stuff. And then the easiest way is just come see the shows. They put in a lot of work. There's tons of work doing these plays, and you guys just need to come see the shows. So
another way that we need help with from the community is if you are interested in the shows, like sharing the posts on Facebook and getting the reach out. Your and our reach is limited to a certain area, so if you share it, you might be reaching people that we don't know about that would be interested in it. So That's really helpful.
Dustin and Heather McLemore, I think, are the best two at resharing stuff in the world.
Yeah, they're
They share our stuff. They share the Ruffin stuff. They're really good.
My stuff.
Yeah, they share your stuff. They're the best. So give them a shout out.
Good.
Well, why don't we go around the table then, and each of you tell me your favorite. You don't have to give away the whole plot. Obviously, we want people to want to come, but sort of give your idea of your favorite part of the play. Like, what's a scene or line or section that you think is exciting or fun to be a part of?
My favorite part in the play would probably have to be one of my scenes. I'm not gonna give a huge reason as I'm not gonna explain the scene, but I'm just gonna say it's my favorite scene just because of how dramatic it is. It's just so. I've told my family before that the one scene that I'm doing, it's so therapeutic because in certain parts of it I have to start yelling, and it's so funny. Because, we're trying not to, laugh and stuff, me and the other actor. We're trying not to laugh our butts off because, we cannot be serious. And I'm saying this plain as day, we cannot be serious. So we're just standing there and we're like...
But it's a very serious scene.
It is a very serious.
Well, that's why it's acting.
It's acting. But I mean,
funny.
we'll get it down.
Yeah.
Nice.
Let's see. So probably my favorite scene is probably that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, mostly just because I get to yell a lot. I have a little bit of a monologue in there too. I kind of like that.
Mm-hmm. You just monologue.
And which role are you playing then?
I'm playing the prince.
The prince.
Yeah.
Okay.
The love interest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's a
yeah.
little bit of that. This is a very family-friendly play. It's one of
So
those.
it's not like Rocky.
It is not. No.
Rocky has value as well.
It does,
Yeah,
but this
it's
is
got a place.
you can bring your 2-year-old to this play, and
You can bring your 2-year-old Rocky, but I mean.
or your 80-year-old grandma. You know?
That's right. It was 18.
Yeah, it was 18.
That's right.
So this is very, very heartwarming, very family friendly. But fun facts though, a lot of people know the Wizard of Oz, but they don't know that the guy who wrote the Wizard of Oz, L. Frank Baum, wrote 14 other books about the lands that the Wizard of Oz takes place in. So,
Those books, by the way, are all available at Jam Books and Records.
I did
which is
not
located on
plan
the
a
square
segue for
in
that.
Covington, Tennessee.
Okay. So those books though introduce different characters that aren't in the first Wizard of Oz book that everybody knows about, Dorothy Gale and the tornado that takes her to the Munchkin Land. So that's what I like in the play, is that if you have read any of those other books, or you are interested in you're interested in the world of Oz, kind of like when you watch Wicked and you see other characters and it kind of grows for you into this bigger thing. The play has a little throwback to some of those other characters from the other books that are also some characters that you see in the Wicked movies a little bit, that if you're interested in that kind of thing, then you'll...
Who wrote this Wicked Christmas?
Ooh, I have it pulled up. I'll tell you who it was.
Well, part of why I ask, and this is a question kind of for you, Madeline, because I think you've read Madeline's a huge Wizard of Oz fan. So, she's got, for Christmas one year, I got her the, what is the dude that does the art guy?
Thomas
Kincaid. This giant Thomas Kincaid, I think it's real ugly, but she likes it. Wizard of Oz art piece, right? And then she's got all the Wizard of Oz dolls, and she's a big fan, a big nerd about it, which is great.
Bobby Keyston.
But what I was going to ask is, the Wizard of Oz as we know it, the original movie, the 20s movie, was that the first book, or was that kind of like they did Star Wars, where it was out of order?
No, that's the first book.
It is?
The Wizard of Oz is the first book in the 14-book series.
Okay.
Fun fact, that was also, the movie was what made the decision to have the Wicked Witch be green. Prior to that, she was never described as green.
Oh, so the movie did
The
it.
movie did.
Yeah, so I've been now at the Wicked. I've been getting on my feed all these horror stories of all. Well, we won't go into it because we got kids here, but all these facts that happened during the filming of the original Wizard of Oz. The witch gets burned.
Yeah, it was a tough
in
movie
one of
to
the
film.
scenes. Yeah, there's a lot of good Munchkin stories. But anyway, are there any Munchkins in this play?
There are small children.
So that counts.
No, they're just carolers. They're Christmas carolers.
Well, and so for those that still don't know exactly what we're talking
It
about,
does take place in Munchkin Land, though.
I have not seen the play. I'll come see it, obviously, probably every performance now because you're there. this weekend and next weekend. But just for people watching, it's basically Wizard of Oz characters with the witch in A Christmas Carol, right? Is that kind of roughly what it is?
You're going to see, it takes the Christmas Carol storyline, and you're going to see a lot of the Wizard of Oz characters in different roles of that Christmas Caroler storyline, but it also builds on the different relationships between the Oz characters, too. So it shows the story of the Wicked Witch growing up, and it gives you some of her backstory that you might not know.
And then the adult Wicked Witch is played by...
Leslie Deeney is playing the adult Wicked Witch, and honestly, she has probably the hardest part in the whole play. She's on stage the entire time. There's like 5 seconds where she gets to walk off stage for a quick costume change, but she has dialogue or monologues the entire play, act 1, act 2, every scene. So when I talk about memorizing the whole script, like she's pretty much had to memorize the whole script too, because she's saying something every other line back and forth to the characters the whole play. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and for those that are familiar with The Ruffin, Leslie has played the narrator for several years in the Rocky Horror performance. And she's played in other stuff too, but I don't know because I'm not
The
in
Calendar
those.
Girls.
So she was in Calendar Girls, yeah.
She was the Wicked Witch in The Wizard of Oz.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
she's
The Wizard
reprising
of
her
Oz.
role. And Julia was the Tin Man in The Wizard of Oz. She's reprising her role.
It's ironic, right?
And
She had the
Wesley-
costume already. She was a
it already
shoe-in.
fit. Wesley, you were lots of characters in The Wizard of Oz too, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stand out with a sigh.
Yeah.
And that was a
Yeah.
really beautiful play.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because honestly, it took a lot of hard work for both of these, really. And I think I'm just grateful that one of them went well, and I'm hoping the second one does too. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Fun fact, I think I lost quite a few pounds in my Tin Man costume. Like, I'm not even kidding. I got like so skinny after that. It was wild.
It was really
so
hot during the
good
summer.
exercise regimen. Wear the Tin Man costume in like the blistering heat.
All the make it a sauna suit, right?
Yeah, sauna suit.
Yeah.
I have a question for you two, more to target the answer towards other young people. So if there were young people watching or parents that had young people that they might think could benefit from doing the plays, what would be a piece of advice that you would give somebody young considering doing it, like to either motivate them to try or maybe some aspect that was a lot of fun that you didn't anticipate being in these plays?
Some advice that I would give to like younger kids who like might want to like try out for like a play or something is that you gotta take your shot. They're not gonna hand it to you. And like I understand that like auditions can be nerve-wracking and stuff, and that like you might not want to do it, but if you're considering it and you want to do it, there's tons of roles in a play. There's not only just the main character. There's lots of characters that you could be. So even if you don't get the main character role, it's not the end of the world because you'll just get better. It's just a part of life.
It's true.
Well, and every character.
A lot of adults could benefit from that advice.
Julia's also gotten roles of like she's been cast as an ensemble character, and then somebody wasn't able to fulfill the role.
I feel like it's become like
And
it's
she
become
was
a
able to
curse
step up.
at this point. Like I mean, they'll tell me, "Oh yeah, you're this character" at like the beginning of the play, and then they'll like. And then I remember when I was Scuttle, I got casted like 9 days.
Yeah, it was like 9 days before, and you learned probably, I don't even know how many lines. It was a lot.
Yeah, like 9 days before show night, they said, "You can be Scuttle."
Nice.
We have one girl that is like that in this play. We've gone over this one character. I won't say who it is because I don't want to put any pressure on her. But this one character, we've been through 4 actresses now, and she's learned her character part in like 6 days, and she's doing a very, very good job. So
Yeah,
it's good.
props to her.
This time of the year is a hard time to do plays too. There's so much going on, and there's so many competing priorities for student age people. So it's been challenging.
What's your advice, Wesley?
Probably my advice to people would be, if you're going to audition for something, do something that's very unique. Don't just try to do the show's music. I tried that one time and got an ensemble part, but actually I got a big part in the next play by actually just trying something unique that I actually could pull off, and I got voice lessons, I got everything I needed, and well, here we are.
That's good advice.
Yeah.
And I think something that people might think that, like, I'm not going to know anybody and that's going to be scary. But what I see as the director in the plays is even if you don't know people, once you get up there for 1 or 2 days, everybody becomes friends pretty quick. And then by the end of the play, like, you have good friends that you've met during the play that are long-lasting friends. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's good for parents to have their children try it, even if they do sports or don't do sports or any of that kind of stuff, because it's just another aspect of life. The reason that I got into, so I was never going to be a thespian, okay? I was never going to be in the plays. Matter of fact, I used to make fun of my law partner, Brian Huffman, who's been in 50, 60 at this point. He was just in one at the Bartlett Performing Arts this weekend. Anyway, they needed in that Rocky play, they couldn't get anybody to play Rocky, because I assume y'all haven't seen it, but in that part, it's you're basically wearing underwear the whole time, and there's a song and stuff, and nobody would do it. And so I have this thing I tell everyone, and I would challenge you guys with this, where I think life's about experiences, and I think the more you do, even if you fail at what you're trying, you're broadening your comfort zone in life. And then the next thing you know, you've got such a broad comfort zone, a lot of things that are stressful to some people will not be as stressful to you. So I always challenge people that if you feel uncomfortable about something or fearful, that means you should do it. Anyway, Brian comes to me and he goes, you should try out for this Rocky role. And I'm like, I can't do that. I can't sing. It's a singing role. And I know I can. It's fine. It's a reality. I live with it. It's just not one of my skill sets. And I was like, no. I was powerlifting at the time when I was basically fat. I was using that excuse to be fat. Anyway, so he's like, you're just being a hypocrite. Because you tell people all the time if they're uncomfortable that they should audition, they should do this, they should do that, and you're scared to do it. And I was like, I ain't scared to do nothing. So I did it. In hindsight, it's tons of fun. I've had tons of fun doing it. Every year I say I'll never do it again, but every year is a lot of fun. And I'm a 40-something-year-old dude doing it. So, if you got kids, great. There's great opportunities at the Ruffin for adults too, whether it's in leadership roles on the board or being directors or being in the plays or assisting with sets. There's lots of opportunity to support the community at the Ruffin Theater. So any last minute thoughts from anybody on stuff?
Come see the play.
Yeah, make sure you come see us this weekend. That'd
Go
be great.
go through that one more time, Madeline. Where can they see it? When is it? All that kind of
It's
stuff.
at the Ruffin Theater in Covington, Tennessee. That's right off the historic downtown square. It's a pretty cool old theater. It has some interesting stories about it in and of itself, so it's a cool building to see. The shows run the 13th, 14th, 15th, the 20th, and 21st, so this weekend and next weekend. The Friday, Saturday shows are at 7:30, and then the Sunday shows are at 2. So Friday, Saturday are at 7:30, Sundays at 2.
Is it Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Friday, Saturday?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, then Friday, Saturday.
Yep.
And tickets are available at the door or at tiptonartscouncil.org, right?
Yeah, and if you just want to go to the Facebook page, there's a link in the show posting. So if you see the show poster, you can get to the link.
There are 2 still, I think, Facebooks, right? And the one that we're directing them to is which one?
It's the Ruffin of Covington, Tennessee. I think it's what it's called. If you go to the other one, it'll direct you to the new one.
Okay.
But yeah, there are still 2 Facebook pages, unfortunately.
She's trying to show you.
It's the Ruffin Theater of Covington, Tennessee page.
Cool.
Did you want her to speak on any of her stuff or not?
If you want to, one thing that we talked about before we started was that Julia deals with is it called a cochlear implant? Mm-hmm. Is that right?
Yeah, that's what it's called.
And you've had that since you were 9 months old. It's 9 months old, so you've always had the superpower. You've never not had it.
Yeah.
But so it's embedded in your head, and that's how you speak or hear, I guess.
I mean, I got surgery, and they put Mom always said they put magnets in my head. I'm just gonna call it that. They put magnets and stuff in my head, and so I have so it's built like this, and there's a magnet right here, and it
Hold it up where they can see on the
that
camera.
Crap.
There you go.
There's a magnet right here, and it attaches to my magnet on my head.
It's actually it's actually inside. They had to. There's a magnet that sits in next to her skull, and there's an electrode, a wire of electrodes that runs through her cochlea, which carries the sound to her auditory nerve. But in order for the sound goes through the top of that little it's the cochlear implant goes through that wire into that magnet, and it communicates through the magnets. It's really amazing.
So is it that it picks up the vibrations and then it sends that impulse to what would normally pick up the sound vibrations?
I mean, there's like microphones, like little.
Like the sound actually goes through those little microphones,
Yeah.
through that wire, through that magnet that's at the end of that, travels through the magnet and then into the. It's just amazing.
Has there been upgrades on it over the years?
Just like an iPhone,
Yeah.
we upgrade
Yeah.
it every
I mean, isn't
5
this
years or so. That's a third
Yeah.
one I think she's had since
this
she
is
was
like an upgrade because like the last one I had was like
One.
made obsolete like at some point in time.
yeah.
That's interesting. It reminds me, of course, of the Elon Musk stuff. He's doing that, what's he call it? Neuralink, where he's got these implants. I think his focus is more with people that have like Parkinson's and stuff
Yeah.
like that with motor dysfunction. But he was talking about how it could cure other things like that.
Hers is Bluetooth too, so like all these kids walk around with AirPods in their ears. She doesn't need that. She just Bluetooth straight to that.
So you can literally you've literally got like an Android attachment there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's cool.
But if she takes them off, she can't hear anything. Nothing.
So does it only work for the one ear?
No, she's got. She
Yeah,
has
I have-
two.
Oh, you have
both
two.
ears.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I just need to keep
That's how
one.
she can hear
Okay.
us right now.
Well, that's why I was talking louder, like one of those idiots. That's
Yeah.
'cause if I speak louder to a deaf person, they can
She
hear me,
also
right?
reads your lips, so
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not a good.
Well,
one.
can you like manipulate that thing to where you can hear through the walls into the next room and stuff?
she can tell you she can, but
Yeah.
Yes, I can. I can tell you I can, but I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Julia, since you've had it since you were 9 months old, you probably don't realize that that's like cool or special. But for folks like us, that's another challenge that she's overcoming that she's probably taken for granted because she's always had it. But
Yeah.
that's kind of cool.
I mean,
There's a lot of adults that would use that kind of stuff as an excuse to not do certain stuff. So the fact that you step out on your own is impressive.
Yeah, I mean, it's like normalized in my family, so I mean, it isn't like a big deal. Like my brothers always complain, put on your processors. It's 3:00 in the afternoon.
Well, again, my wife tells me that I'm deaf all the time, but
It's just
I think
selective
I think it's
hearing.
for a different reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, selective hearing.
we just have never treated her any different. She doesn't get any special treatment. She has two
Yeah.
brothers that do hear but have selective hearing, but
Mm-hmm.
she doesn't get any special treatment. So I don't think she's ever known to be any different.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, unless you like deliberately go out of your way to go through like my medical files, you won't figure it out. I mean, one night when I was in a play, so you know how it like there's it glows, right?
Mm-hmm.
It just shows that it's on. Or actually, this one's dead, but like it was glowing, and I was backstage, and a parent backstage that was helping with the set, she was like, "Oh my gosh, don't move! There's a bug in your hair," and it glows green whenever it's on. So, and I was like, "Oh, okay." So I stood still, and she's like, "Why is the bug glowing?" And I said, "What do you mean? Why is the bug glowing? What do you mean?" And then she said, "What is that?" And I was
Yeah.
like,
Surprise.
I was like, "Oh,
People
you
don't
scared
know.
me there for a second. I thought there was a bug in my hair."
Well, good. I'm glad you didn't have bugs. Well, again, I commend you on that because, again, a lot of grown-ups would, come up with more excuses. So, and you don't realize it even is one, so that's good. And I commend both of you being teenagers doing something like this too. I know sometimes you go to school. Nowadays, probably not so much. When I was in school, if I did something like this, I'd have gotten picked on or made fun of. And that's not the way it ought to be. Everybody's got their strengths and weaknesses on stuff they'll do. And what's interesting is a lot of people that would make fun of a kid that would do a play, those people couldn't do plays. They lack the confidence to get up there and do that. You know what the number one fear in the world is? Public speaking in front of people. And you guys are basically professionals at it now. So congratulations.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, cast and the council and everybody of the Tipton Arts Council and the Wicked Christmas. I'll go see it. Hopefully you guys will go see it. And thank you for staying with us today and watching our show here. We do them randomly now, so hopefully we'll get a little more regular. But if you haven't, make sure you follow us on social media platforms. We got like 300 episodes or something I think are up now on different platforms. And then if you haven't, follow us on TikTok while you can. I don't know if Daddy Trump is going to save TikTok or not. I guess we'll see. But as of right now, in January, it goes away. And then Michelle Allen is our longtime sponsor of our show, so make sure you follow her on her stuff. She's your go-to if you're going to buy, sell, rent, lease real estate. And of course, if you want to learn to jump, kick, punch, we're running some specials right now. $99 gets you a month of lessons and a uniform. You visit masonsmartialarts.com or give us a call. It's a good Christmas present and helps with confidence, like we've been talking about today. And if you want to buy some Wicked books or other stuff, those are available at Jam Books and Records, located on the square right here in Covington, open 7 days a week. So come check us out. And then if you need help with social media, planning, YouTube, whatever, just visit masonitemarketing.com. And we're glad to give you help out. And we'll see you next time on another Law Talk. You guys keep kicking. Thanks for watching, guys. Just remember that this is not legal advice or investment advice or business advice. This is for fun and entertainment purposes only.